My Gandhi always tells me this story as if I've never heard it before. You know, there were times when we didn't know where the next half gallon of milk was going to come from. This was probably in the late 60s, before she got remarried to my grandpa, back when she was a working single mother of three, the abused wife who refused to stay, the bartender who never had a drink. At the time, a half gallon of milk cost 58 cents, and we had 56 cents. We celebrated Gandhi's 82nd birthday this month. A birthday celebrated remotely, as we were all self-quarantined and kept our distance. At 82, Gandhi is among our most vulnerable, so we sent our best wishes from afar. She celebrated her birthday alone in her house, a month to the day after burying her husband of 50 years. What can be done? Some birthdays are just better than others, I guess. But if Gandhi seemed like she was in good spirits and forging ahead that day, it's only because that's how she tackles the world. So I turned to Joe and I said, let's dig through the couch cushions. When Grandpa died, you'd ask Gandhi things like, how are you? And she would always say, I'm gonna be all right. I just don't know when. She's the most optimistic person that I know, but also the most bluntly honest. So when she tells you things are gonna be okay, you believe her. The day of the memorial service, she went to the farmer's market to tell a friend of theirs about Grandpa's passing and ended up buying these tomatoes, 4 for $1. They were a big hit. Uncommonly good for tomatoes picked out of season. Family, friends, and neighbors would walk into her home and hear, pull up a chair, make a sandwich. Have you tried these tomatoes? Later that afternoon, as it was nearing time to drive to the church, in a quiet moment, Gandhi pulled me aside in the kitchen and said, your grandpa's family has long lifelines. My family doesn't. I've always said that I would die first, and God is my witness, I wish that I had. And she paused for a second. But I'll tell you, I really lucked out with those tomatoes. It's an optimism you can't fake. A worldview honed through decades of love and loss, laughter, and survival. And so Joe and I dug through the cushions in the couch and the chair, and we found 2 pennies. You'll be on the phone with her talking about your day or work. Money's a little tight, maybe, or the car's in the shop. And then Gandhi tells you the story as if you've never heard it before. You know, there were times when we didn't know where the next half gallon of milk was going to come from, but it always came. It's good that she tells you like you've never heard it before because you needed to hear it again, in full. It's her rally cry when things aren't looking up. It's a reminder that her unflagging optimism is born of hope and backed up by experience. I like this story because it reminds me that our most vulnerable still have the most to teach us about living well. Because you can't always know when the next little bit of relief will come, when the next laugh will come, the next break in the clouds, the next shifting of the winds. But it always comes. You just have to be willing to dig for it.